how does HRIS impact on organization efficiency if we include this one in the human resource management section? So HR departments provide actually the broader and more efficient and effective services when they operate via web portal, and this can be viewed as making organization more efficient. In most organizations, the full potential of HRIS is not fully utilized or capitalized. This can be attributed to firms achieving automation of existing HR processes, but failing to progress to a more advanced stage of information, or the information culture, or the new trends are coming in. This adds that it means that the few organizations systematically attempt to measure effectiveness of the information system. Indeed, while the HR managers are stressing the need to better understand the factors that contribute to the success of HRIS, including, in other words, the HR department can progress successfully if we include the HRIS to its full. Moreover, uh, you know, the HRIS, efficiency to the system ability, it makes a system, efficient enough to produce more effective and faster outcomes than done on paper or through the old methods of record keeping. However, imperative in today's organizations, though, in order to cope with the number of issues such as increasing organizational demand, more extensive use of and need of information for continuous pressure, continuous processes, and the continuous pressure is to reduce the cost as well, as making HR more strategic business partner towards attempting the organizational goals. So therefore, HR has become a key enabler to increase organizational performance as it utilizes the resources effectively and efficiently. And the purpose of HRS has become more complete and complex, and therefore in recent developments. Moreover, HRIS is a response to achieve cost effectiveness, reduce administrative workload, as we discussed in the cost and benefits, or simply it adds strategic value in the decision making of the organization. So there is a consequence. There is a consensus among various practitioners that HRIS is a powerful tool to enhance HR capabilities. So let's see how managers come up with the idea that it is flexible to interact with the HRIS, and it is useful platform to perform employees' jobs and increase employee productivity. It was also found that when users perceive the system as being easy to learn and use, they are expected to utilize the system more. And it is also believed that the using the HRIS, professionals can improve their performance by getting better knowledge of the organization and its employees, which lead to facilitating the participation in strategic planning and actually implementing that plan. Moreover, the HR managers, can use HRIS to evaluate their own business performance by, amongst others, calculating the return on training investment, turnover costs, etc. And they can also use as evidence to top management that HR is legitimate strategic partner and is crucial for achieving the organizational goals. However, uh, as as I told that researchers, scholars have made a point that HRIS does have an impact and managers and helping out these managers indeed. But they also believe that the major concern of the implementing the integrated HRIS is the loss of personal touch in the interaction within the employees. Hence, a depersonalization is identified as trade-off to automation, means taking the HR organization on information systems, and on the other hand, the employee self service portals. So it is a trade-off between these things. And furthermore, uh, the increasing use of information technologies in HR planning and delivery, the way people organization look at the nature and the role of HR itself may change, in the coming era. So this could influence this you know point of view could influence the attitudes of HR managers towards their jobs and professions as well. And practitioners are of the view that HRIS has more benefits than drawbacks. So, as we discussed, there could be pros and cons, and as we discussed that the managers could be on a tipping point to make decisions, uh, even in a hurry, within a short period of time, that may lead to more complex results. And even in on routine tasks, there are so many things to be done by the managers or decisions taken by the managers, uh, or the routine tasks, the data entry, error-free data entry needs to be evaluated by the managers, which are at the line, bottom line, and so a lot of things are going on within the organization. And then we therefore the HRIS supports those human resource related management decisions. As we know that human resource itself is a complex uh, piece of puzzle in any organization. It, let's say if we talk about the hiring process, the decision or to be taken is based by the hiring authorities or the hiring panel, depends on the information that is available to them accounting that particular potential candidate. So maybe that particular decision could benefit the organization, as well as sometimes it can harm. And the decision was taken on irrelevant or less information that was available regarding that candidate can harm the time and the training, as well as the cost invested moving on and from one job to another job continuously. So if the information is incomplete, so the decision can harm the hiring process as well. So therefore, the information is very necessary. This is a set of interrelated components working all together to collect, process, store, and distribute information to support HR decisions making, and coordinating and controlling in all over the organization, and to monitor as well if there is any error or duplication of the particular data, or the data is irrelevant for that particular decision. Importance of HRIS, how discussed earlier, is still, uh, for example, Moritz in 2003 have postulated that HRIS will be implemented at three different levels: the publishing of information, making availability of information, automation of transactions, means the things that the flow of work is being automated, let's say. And finally, another thing is that by the way human resource management is conducted in the organization, by transforming HR into a strategic partner with the line business. It also adds in the competitiveness of the organization. Information systems are the dynamic demo of any organization, so therefore it starts with the human resource department, and it should be integrated with the overall strategy of the organization. Competitive advantage should be flexible according to the market needs, challenges, constant changes, and global perspective. Furthermore, competitive advantage can be created through strategic approach towards organizational resources, which are human resources in our case, and it could be the financial resources as well, and technological resources. Since we are specific towards human resource management, so competitive advantage would be towards the higher skilled, trained employees and their relevant information and knowledge uh, about their uh, past and current affairs, and the performance appraisals of those skilled employees can be better utilized to make reallocation of those employees, let's say, right people for the right job at the right time in the right place. So it may add up to the competitiveness of the organization. People, of course, are people that are working. It could be staff, it could be the other higher level officers. So the information will help the identifying and developing human capital as well, as per strategic requirement of the organization to create competitive advantage for the growth and development. In this direction, a lot of literature overcoming, covering the link between human resource management and firm performance is based on the universalistic approach, or the best practices perspective that implies the direct relationship between the particular approaches to human resource and performance. It means if we are integrating human resource with HRIS, it is going to have many strategic advantages as well. So therefore, HRIS serves as a part of strategic human resource management. As we can see here, in overall organization is built on so many components, but typically uh, most relevant to this chapter 3 is if we integrate the HRIS with this strategy, it improves competitiveness. And along with that, people, that is HR, is the biggest competitive advantage. And if we have relevant information and we are improving those people towards achieving the organizational performance, of course, there is a win-win situation for all. From another perspective, HR component, if we talk about the human resource management, there is staff, and we can say there is on towards the operational level and human resource knowledge. It could be the at the upper level or strategic development level, and then the HRIS, which we can say at the operational level or functional level, that may give information for the decision making, and collectively they are making up the whole human resource management system within the organization. Decision making here, the decision making basically is a process. Uh, Sometimes it includes, depending on the organization, sometimes it includes 7 to 8 stages, few steps. There is the identification of the problem, and then sorting out the alternatives, looking for the alternatives, giving weightage to those alternatives, and then implementing those alternatives on a pilot or maybe full scale, and then evaluating the results, and then implementing completely within the whole organization, then maintaining it, and the last one could be the feedback towards the implementation of that particular alternate. Whereas the organization at different levels could be at a strategic, functional, or operational level. Operation basically relates to the daily, weekly, or monthly basis first line management that accomplish the objectives of middle management. Within this scope, the operation manager covers departments, sections, or teams. It includes the data entry, or inventory, or scheduling, or budgeting, and the plans, and making decisions at operational level. Uh, Whereas with the functional, corporate, and business objectives typically require involvement of multiple function areas, maybe the HR itself and production or research and development. So from here HR might increase hiring of highly trained employees. Production, that is at the operation level, can reduce rejections. That is, if we implement properly and data entry properly, if we make data entries properly, then it is expected the production would be in terms of products or services, or the functionality of the human resource could be less, you know, could be error free, and it would also be integrated with the uh, overall firm strategy. Whereas in a strategic level, HRIS system allows human resource analysis overall, including both functional and operational, which is the basis of HR planning. And most businesses make decisions on related to these strategies. And the organizations make many business decisions on the basis of capabilities of their employees, and many decisions to make their workforce happy and capable to improve their human resource. Companies management can design effective programs to improve employees and companies' performance and build a happy workforce. Similarly, decisions related to strategy involve company-wide methods enacted over a long bit of time. The goals are what the company hopes to accomplish at least a year or more into future. So strategy is here is to implement HRIS and integrate it and analyze what we have within our organization towards based on the relevant information and making decisions that ultimately align our HR with the strategy. Moving on, here are some scenarios that we can take as an example there in terms of decision making process. Normally, time is allocated 2% on strategic decision making, 23% on functional, while 75% on operational level. But when we involve HRIS for decision making, it turns out to be time reallocation. So when time reallocated, it means we are more concerned with the strategy then function, and then operational level, because operational level is handled by the HRIS again. HRIS, if plugged in strategy, it creates comprehensive learning organization that enhances the knowledge capital of all the employees. Knowledge capital means the information that in the processes and the culture and the environment of the employees collectively contribute towards that organization. Functional level, uh, personal development plans for employees, individual training plans according to employee training needs, performance evaluation meetings, etc. They are recorded and categorized according to their categories and classified in HRIs effectively. Operational level, maintaining data entry simply in the system using HRIS. Scenario one, let's say, uh, preparing the evaluation forms, print and copy them, distribute the forms to the employee, employee fill in the evaluation form, then the process goes on by evaluation of the forms personally, submit to HR processes, and then rewrite the results to compute in the file, manual processing of data gathering, and print and ultimately file the form for the future use. Whereas with HRIS, we have different softwares in the market that are sold in components or as a whole package, which can include the employee data, and then we can appraise over their performance, and there could be many options, or we can have third-party modules added in that particular software, or by the major service provider or the package provider, and then we can track all those things within that system. Evaluation form, online evaluation entry, one-click access to results, history information captured in the second or first screen, as well history of evaluation reports are done generated by the system. Strategic decision making process can take place here as well. So where is the leave application? Scenario 2, prepare leave application forms, print and copy them, manually maintain them, maintain company calendar according to those leaves, and employees applying for the leave fill in all in an application form. Application form personally submitted to supervisor. Supervisor then checks it and manually check employees leave status, and then supervisor approval or rejection is applied. Application form personally submitted to the HR, then manually updated by the HR, and then the process takes a lot of time. Whereas in this process, there's a lot of chances of being recording in error. Whereas the leave applications with the HRIS is more smooth and error free, and on the same window, or it could be on a different window, but at least it saves a lot of time and effort. It define company specific leave administration process initially, or the form, and apply, make available online leave form so that the employee can fill, and online approval or rejection can be given. History information is captured over there, and leave application, leave balance are reported generally by the system. So saves strategy resources as well. Scenario 3, let's say intranet or new dimensions of HRM, which is personal information, census information, qualification, leave balance, cancellation approval, or we can say it is within the organization employee profile, which adds includes everything, and we can make a good decision or reallocation decision regarding that particular employee based on the information or experience or skills that person holds within the organization. So HRIS implementation, we can evaluate informed cost and benefits value, management support for HRIS, limitations of computerization. We can assess HRIS implementation in these particular segments. So one by one, we can see cost benefits that we discussed earlier in detail. The system development cost, software licensing cost, time investment for system implementation, cost of data migration as well, because from the old or manual files would be converted into system or data entry files. System implementation, consultancy services are required, and it also costs a lot of time. Hardware costs are also included. System maintenance cost keeps on on a fixed manner, or maybe increase or decrease with the passage of time. Where the benefits are once invested in, it saves a lot of time and saves a lot of costs, because of the period of time it is going to reduce the time that in the process, and the lagging and the errors, and therefore saves a lot of costs. And work reallocation is made more efficient and effective. Saving time, easy data maintenance, administrative processes are automated, employee self-services, adequate information base that leads to timely and just you know decision making, response um, faster to the employee inquiries, enhances the efficiency, productivity, and reduces the errors, saves cost, less time is spent on the task, minimum paperwork, as we discussed, timely and accurate decisions are made, including the cost or maybe the employees. So HRIS ultimately it adds to the strategic value of any organization through the human resource management department. Efficiency includes in terms of cost and time. Both are saved. Effectiveness orientation on the most valuable assets of the organization. People are being utilized very effectively, and the tasks that are being they maintained and achieved within the given period of time. So therefore, HRIS is adding the strategic value. We can see here that the HRIS is a way to gain competitive advantage. People are the most valuable assets, and improving, managing, and effectively uh, growing them thus gives competitive advantage to that particular organization. So therefore, we can say HRIS manages people efficiently and effectively, and helps in gaining competitive advantage to the uh, organization. Whereas it also helps in uh, work reallocation in terms of helping employees performance perform better through effective career planning and performance management, also integrating the human resource function with other business functions in the enterprise to serve personnel in a better manner. Getting management support for HRIS is a bit contradictory, but still the benefits are on higher side. So the understanding the expectations, getting management involved, achieving of tangible benefits, system usage across organization, target for short wins, and celebrate simplified and unified processes, and introduction of best practices through the HRISs. HRIS helps management a lot in any organization. However, in certain organizations, there could be limitations of HRIS implementation. Budget constraints. Every organization cannot implement the whole HRIS system, so they can opt for the the component or the packages of HRIS that are available in the organization. Knowledge gaps are knowledge training and development is needed. Budget constraints. Of course, every organization cannot afford heavy investment at the same time. Knowledge gaps are also huge limitation for any organization that employees are unaware. So therefore, time investment for implementation is needed. Synchronization of manual and automatic processes may account for so many errors, and technology limitations are also there. Infrastructure and facilities may not be available for that organization to implement HRIS completely. Data maintenance and regular update uh, may be, depending on the type of organization, could be a limitation for the HRIS. Changing HR role with HRIS, it, HR as a business function or partner, or HR as a strategic partner, can also serve effectively with when it is added with the HRIS. So therefore, HRIS, we can say, as strategic partner, knowing in and out of the business is necessary to create better strategies that can go a long way. So we can say that HR technology does help human resource increase its effectiveness in making it a strategic partner by its contribution to business decisions and achieving the organization goals. So key message here at the end of HRIS is that by automating human resource practices, HRIS saves a lot of time and money of any organization and effectively reallocates and utilizes the work processes and human resource, and thus provides competitive advantage to that firm over the competitors, and adds a strategic value to that particular organization in making so